Okay, so we know now what factoring or factorizing is. It is putting the expression in the brackets, okay? And for this first video, we're gonna have a look at the first question we should ask ourselves every time: is there a common factor? So when we're factorizing, we ask ourselves these 5 questions. The first one, is there a common factor? And as you can see, there's an example here, 3x squared plus 15x, for instance. Okay, I will solve this question in a minute together with you. Now, what do I mean with is there a common factor? Let's say I have the expression 4x plus 6, and I'm asked to factorize it completely, usually it says. And the first question I ask myself then when I'm factorizing is there a common factor? That's the first question, always. Is there a common factor? Now I have 2 terms, and indeed there is a common factor because they're both even, so I can divide them by 2. And that happens to be the highest common factor as well. So if I take the 2 out, yeah, and factoring meaning basically putting it in the brackets, what will be my first term? So 2 times 2x is going to be my 4x, and 2 times a positive 3 is going to give me my 6, my second term, yeah? And to check myself, 2 times 2x, 4x, 2 times 3 indeed is 6. Is there another factor? I'm just going to check that because I really have to take out that highest common factor. Is there another factor, 2x and 3? No, that's it. So that is factorized now, finished, okay? So for all questions, even when they get a little bit harder, but they're not getting harder actually, you always ask yourself, first of all, is there a common factor? Now, let's have a look at this one, 3x squared plus 15x. So I have the expression 3x squared plus 15x, and I ask myself always when I have to factorize, is there a common factor? Let's look at those numbers first. A 3 and a 15, yes, they have the common factor 3. I'm just going to write that down here, 3. Okay, if I would put the brackets now, I would get 3 times x squared, 1x squared is 3x squared, plus 3 times 5 would be 15x. Okay, now I did put it in brackets now, but the question will always be factorize it completely. That means take out the highest common factor. There is still a common factor between these 2 terms, yeah, because they both have an x. This one has 2 x's, xx, and that one has 1, so I can get rid of another x. So 3x brackets x plus 5. Now I have factorized it completely, yeah, so that is my answer. And perhaps some of you can go from there to there in one step and do not have to do this step in between. But you always check, is there still a common factor? X plus 5? No, that's it. There's no other common factor, so I took out the highest common factor, so I factorized it completely, okay? If I would have written this down first, which is fine, that's good, but I still check, is there perhaps another common factor? Because I have to get rid of the highest common factor. Yes, there is, x. So then you go to your next step, so 3x. Just to check myself, 3x times x is 3xx, so 3x squared, good. 3x times 5, 15x, good. Factorized completely, good. So let me just write down that answer here, where we said that if I have to factorize that expression, by taking out the highest common factor, I'll get 3x bracket x plus 5 bracket. Good. So my next video I'll have some example questions about taking out the highest common factor, and then we're going to move on to the other questions you should ask yourself when you are factorizing. Next video, explainingmaths.com.